So this show just went from a 9 out of 10 weirdness factor to like 11 out of 10 weirdness factor, and I've seen a lot of weird shows in my day. A lot of weird anime, I've seen a lot of weird TV shows, I've seen a lot of weird movies, books, etc. But I gotta say, Gleipnir really does take the cake for some of the weirdest things I have seen in a long time, at least when it comes to anime, because this right here, this episode literally had an entire segment where our female character was entering inside of a furry, organic, mecha suit. And there was so many innuendos with her that I was just like, okay, like, this is getting a little bit awkward. It was really, really awkward. There was the way that she was commenting on certain things, the way just the imagery was done. There was just so many things about that scene that was just extremely weird. I'm like, whoa, 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 calm down now. Calm down, Gleipnir. Like, this is going into a whole other area I never expected from this series. I knew it was going to have fan service. I mean, the first episode was enough to let us know that there was definitely going to be a lot of fan service for Gleipnir, but I didn't think it would go to such extremes in terms of just what kind of innuendos, etc. it was doing, especially in episode 2. But the point, is Gleipnir, it is a weird series, and if you are someone that was hoping that it might normalize a bit with episode 2, then this episode pretty much lets you know that's probably not going to happen. This series is probably going to remain very weird, very different. It's something that is going to make many turn their heads like, wait, what? Like, did that just happen? I could definitely see this turning a lot of heads. And here's the thing about it. Gleipnir is an interesting show. I'm not gonna lie. It is an enjoyable watch. It is definitely, I'm gonna say it's kind of trash. Like, it is very trashy. It is a trashy anime. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't feel that way. But just because I say that doesn't necessarily mean I'm thinking it's a terrible show, like it's awful, it should be stopped, etc. It is definitely trashy so far, like when it comes to just the characters, to the fan service, to just the different themes, to just the way all the characters feel like cardboard in a way. At least the main female cast feel very cardboard-like. I mean, there's really nothing interesting going on with them. They're basically discount Yunogasai and, just like characters you'd see from Mirai Nikki or other, Battle Royale, anime. It's stuff you would see on a constant. So there is definitely very stereotypical stuff going on in this series, and like I said, it is kind of trashy. But despite all of that, I find myself actively enjoying Gleipnir's anime. I don't know why, but I am actively enjoying it. I think it's just because it's so weird is why I'm just interested in it, because I'm so used to, like, a typical thing that finding something extremely weird really just makes me want to continue watching to see how much weirder it really can get. And when I really look at what she was doing, for instance, entering into a furry organic mech suit, it reminded me a lot of kind of like Attack on Titan or, Darling in the Franxx. I don't know if you remember those series. I know many know what Attack on Titan is, but some might not know what Darling in the Franxx is, and it aired a while ago, and I know the ending is very controversial. People don't really like that for good reason. I don't like it myself, but I mean, when you really look at what's going on, it's kind of like a reverse Darling in the Franxx with what's happening to the MC with the main female character. I mean, it's very similar to that, but yeah, there's a lot of vibes I'm getting, and it's just like, this series has suddenly become like a mecha anime. That's literally what it's kind of become, an organic mecha anime. Weird. But okay, enough with that. Let's talk about the details of the episode, kind of the animation and everything. Now, like I said, this episode was really good. I had a lot of enjoyment for it, and one of the big reasons why I enjoyed this episode so much was actually there were some really good scenes with art and animation that kind of blew me away. I was really blown away by just some of just the detail that was put into it. I mean, we already saw some quality stuff from the previous episode. I mentioned already in my first impressions that, when it comes to the art style and animation, it's really impressive, honestly. You wouldn't expect it from a series like this, but it's really impressive. And this episode takes it to a whole other level. There's a whole action sequence we have with our two main characters versus the enemy of this episode, and it looks so fluid. The impact of hits on the character, it actually looks super realistic, and you can actually see the pain and just the force of impact. And, it's hard to kind of describe, but basically, it's very hard, I think, for animators and people that just do art in general to really effectively show the power behind a punch or the power behind just a blunt object coming at you. And I feel like just the way this episode captured just the fighting and the way, the suit came in and hit that person, it just like, you could feel the impact. You saw the impact, and I appreciate that level of detail. The artwork and animation is definitely something that is very impressive just by itself. If I'm not talking about anything else this series has to offer, the art style and animation is definitely impressive, and I am actually really happy to see it's really good. I mean, with just how animators are constantly, either taking shortcuts or they're, rushing for time, or you have it to where with this current stuff going on in the world where, like, animators are not being able to animate the stuff properly and they have to outsource. I'm just surprised this series looks so well like it does for the type of era we're currently in the real world. So I'll just give props. I'm going to give props to just the people working on the show for the animation art alone. It's really nice. But okay, when it comes to the plot, obviously, it's still very basic. It's very bare bones. There's really not much this episode gives besides a few little details that really isn't anything crazy. It's something that many kids came to the conclusion to, and it's very simple. So, right at the start, it's very clear that the main female character that is entering inside of this furry organic mech suit, she is connected to our MC in some way. We know there has to be some form of connection, and this episode's ending kind of reveals that the reason why the MC turns into a monster is because the sister of the main female character that she's trying to find, she actually wished for our MC to turn into that furry suit. So that is the reason why he's a monster, but it's not just that. She wanted to be with him, which kind of makes you wonder, like, holy crap, so she kind of probably sacrificed herself or whatever to be with the MC, but now her sister is actually doing it instead and, getting inside the furry suit. So it's very weird, and it just, like, now it makes sense how he is like he is because he had no affiliation with the coin, because everything we know when it comes to the story, at least from what we saw from this episode, to be able to gain this type of power, like for instance turning into a monster, you have to go to this vending machine, offer this coin, and then a wish is made. And obviously the MC didn't do this unless he had amnesia or something, and obviously he doesn't, so someone probably did it for him, and that's why he has this form like he does. The question is, though, what necessarily happened to the sister? See, she was like a shadowy figure that got rid of her family and left her sister alive. Why did she do that? That is a big question. Why did she leave her sister alive? But on top of that, where did she go? Is she actually merged with the MC, and that's what's going on there? Or did she disappear to create him into something like that? There's a lot of questions that are raised thanks to some of these details that are revealed. But anyways, the point though is that we now know why he turns into what he does. The question is, what is the main objective? Is this like a curse? See, I've been told this is a battle royale, like a survival death game, anime. But the question is, so far we don't really see any death game. We don't see anything like that. And everything I see so far is these individuals that are given these godlike abilities or just given, like, monster-like powers because they get a wish fulfilled. There's no reason for these individuals to fight each other. So there's no reason for them to hunt actively after each other because it really hasn't been revealed yet. So it doesn't really feel more like a battle royale or a death game. It feels more like just in a world, you're a monster within a world and you want to fit in. That's kind of what's going on. But it'll probably turn into something very interesting as the story progresses. But for now, though, I do think that this episode really did try to give development to the MC and the main female character, and it did it in an interesting way, but they're still very cardboardy in terms of just what their characters represent. As I already said, there's pretty much discount characters from Mirai Nikki, Future Diary for the English title, and there's really nothing interesting truly going on with them. I mean, it's very bare bones in terms of how their characters are described. I mean, you have the MC that's very weak-willed, he wears a mask, he's empty inside, he has nothing going for him, the world has mistreated him, etc. And, the female character comes into his life and she's kind of giving him a purpose, filling his heart, his insides, etc. Literally and, like mentally and physically, she's like filling him up where, like he actually has a purpose. So, I mean, we know for a fact that, what this episode is trying to prove with the whole thing of her entering inside of the furry organic mech suit. That's very apparent. But the point, though, is the female character, all she really has going for her is that she likes the feeling of power. She wants to be connected with the MC, feel, I guess, wanted in a way. But on top of that, she wants to find her sister. So there is some objectives here, but obviously some of the things don't really make a lot of sense. Like, for instance, you know, the actual main female character trying to burn that building in the previous episode, the first episode, and she was by herself. Why did she do that if she was trying to find her sister? There's so many questions I have about that. It's still not explained. There's so many, like, what? But hopefully that is explained as the story progresses. So yeah, overall, Gleipnir. Is it a good show after watching 2 episodes? It's okay. Like, it's enjoyable. It is definitely one of those series you turn off the brain, you sit back, you enjoy it. And if the weirdness or the fan service annoys you, then obviously it's not going to be your series, because it's probably not going to really tone down. I think that at this point in time, you know, if you're still annoyed by certain elements of it, it's best to stop, because it's probably not going to stop with all the innuendos and all of that. But yeah, I am interested. It's weird. I'll keep up with it. I'm excited to see it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you got this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.